Hey Godzilla Kong collectors, we've got our hands on the entire collection of Godzilla Kong GIANT figures. We'll be crowned the king of the monsters. The challenge starts now. Retailing for $24.99, here's 11-inch Giant Godzilla Evolved. Let's get this bad boy unboxed. The Godzilla Kong 11-inch Giant Godzilla brings the king of monsters to your collection with epic new details that capture his movie look. Set comes in a unique Godzilla Kong package. Let's attach Godzilla's tail. My oh my, take a look at Godzilla Evolved in all of his glory. I really love his size. Let the battle begin. Finish him, fatality. Are you getting Barbanzilla vibes with those vibrant pink dorsal plates? While initially I wasn't a fan of Evolved Godzilla's new look, I have to admit it's beginning to grow on me. His dark body paint in tandem with his pink dorsal plates and spikes creates a striking look that's a sight to behold. Take a look at his very nicely detailed facial sculpt. He looks quite intimidating with those eyes, razor-sharp teeth, and beautiful tongue. We can see the paint on his teeth is a little sloppy. Very nice details in his neck area. In his evolved form, Godzilla's dorsal plates look pinkish. Here they're soft, translucent, and flexible with some nice detailing on each fin. I'm really digging this giant figure's streamlined look compared to 6-inch Godzilla Evolved. Very nice. I'm not a big fan of the transition where the painted tail spikes meet up with Godzilla's plastic dorsal plates. He sports nice reptilian skin that feels bumpy with texture. Unlike the 6-inch Godzilla Evolved figure, this giant figure actually has his spike that extends from his arm painted a solid magenta color. His underbelly's painted a lighter shade. There's some really nice blending near his underbelly. It's a bit of a bummer that Godzilla has visible screws on the other side of the figure. I wish they had covers for those unsightly holes. Godzilla has razor-sharp claws ready to unleash significant damage on his foes. Take a look at the massive curved claws on his feet. Man, I'd hate to have those penetrate through my flesh. In his new evolved form, Godzilla's definitely lost some weight. Perhaps he's been hitting the gym. We can see he has noticeably slimmer abs, slimmer and longer arms for better hand-to-hand combat, and slimmed-down legs compared to Giant Godzilla. Godzilla's tail is well sculpted and painted, and he's even got a thagomizer with a distinctive arrangement of 6 spikes at the end of his tail for defensive purposes. For comparison, here's 6-inch Godzilla Evolved and 11-inch Godzilla Evolved. Let the battle begin. Let them fight. Finish him, fatality. Let's talk articulation. Godzilla's jaw closes and opens. Unfortunately, he doesn't have any head or neck articulation. He has limited arm articulation, moves backward to here and forward to this point. His arms don't swivel outward. He has no elbow movement. Even though it looks like there's a wrist cut, he doesn't have any wrist movement. As for his giant legs, they move backward and forward to a point. His feet swivel around a full 360 degrees. His tail has a ball joint, which gives you a nice range of motion. His tail can also be fully rotated. It's a huge missed opportunity that they didn't bother including Godzilla's atomic breath accessory. Come on, playmates. Let the battle begin. Finish him, fatality. Meet Giant Scar King with Whip Slash, retailing for $24.99. Let's get him unboxed. He's an orangutan-based titan. Scar King will be the first simian monster faced by Kong in a live-action film. Set comes in a unique Godzilla Kong package. Standing 11 inches tall, Giant Scar King looks incredible. He's easily my favorite figure in the Giant line. Take a look at his facial sculpt with menacing scowl. You can even make out some teeth with sharp canines, protruding eyebrows. I'm actually shocked his mouth can't open. I wanted to bite off Kong's head. Who said you have to play by the rules? He's wearing war paint on not only his face, but also on his arms. Meet Baldy the monkey. He has ears coming out of the sides of his head. On the back of his head, you can see beautiful fur sculpting. This monkey's covered in red, sculpted fur like an orangutan. He has a lanky build with long arms and legs. His chest and torso have some nice sculpting and paint. I'm a bit disappointed that he has some visible screw holes on his backside. He has a pretty nice booty. He's got one open fist and one fully clenched fist, ready to give Kong a major uppercut. Scar King's feet are well sculpted and painted. For comparison, here's 6-inch Scar King and 11-inch Giant Scar King. Let the battle begin. Let them fight. Finish him, fatality. Let's talk articulation. Scar King can fully rotate his head, move his head up and down, and pivot his head. He can fully rotate his arms and swing them outward. He has an elbow joint, elbow rotation, and his wrists can fully rotate, but they're a bit tight and squeaky. What I really love is that this figure has torso movement. He can move his torso backward and forward, side to side, and you can even spin his torso all the way around. Unfortunately, he still doesn't have any waist articulation. His legs move backward and forward this far. You can also rotate his legs. He has a knee joint, but sadly there's no movement in the feet. As for accessories, he comes bundled with his whip/weapon. If this was a pageant, he'd probably win the first prize. For being one ugly-looking mother, it's actually a dead titan's mandible and its spine. You can make out the teeth on the mandible. His whip/slash can be removed and wielded in his right hand. It can be a bit challenging to get Scar King to stand up on his own with his whip/slash in hand. Let the battle begin! Let them fight! Finish him! Fatality! Retailing for $24.99, here's the almighty Giant Kong with Beast Glove, the king of Skull Island. Let's unleash this bad boy. The world needs Kong to join forces with Godzilla, with epic new details that capture his movie look. Standing 11 inches tall, Kong looks better than ever. Man, check out that ferocious facial sculpt. They totally nailed Kong's facial sculpt with impressive details. Look at his business eyes with protruding brows, beautifully sculpted nose, and my oh my, those teeth look amazing. They actually painted both sides of his teeth. His head has impressive fur sculpting, with his ears peeking out. He even has beard details. But sadly, they're missing the gray tips. Kong has more of a muscular build compared to Scar King's slim build. He has nice pecs and a visible six-pack. Kong still has his battle scars on his chest. I just wish they were sculpted rather than merely painted on. Kong's fully equipped with his mechanical beast glove from Godzilla Kong. Check out that insane level of detail. The sculpting and paint are really well done. You can make out intricate details in the glove, plus you can see the gear. Unfortunately, Kong's beast glove is not removable. Kong's new beast glove packs a meteoric impact punch. Man, where the hell do I get one of those things? Check out that thick coat of fur on his back. I wish he had covers for those visible screw holes on his back. The ones on his legs aren't as noticeable. He has a pretty nice booty. Kong's feet are nicely sculpted and painted. For comparison, here's 6-inch Kong and 11-inch Giant Kong. Let the battle begin. Let them fight. Finish him. Fatality. Let's talk articulation. Kong's head swivels left and right, with some up and down head movement. Unfortunately, his jaw is completely fixed in place. It cannot be closed shut. His arms fully rotate and swivel outward. It's a bit tight. He has elbow movement and elbow rotation in his left arm only. Interestingly, his right elbow doesn't have any rotation. Although a bit tight, his left wrist can rotate a full 360 degrees. However, although his right wrist has a cut, it's completely fixed in place. Kong doesn't have any waist movement. His legs move backward and forward. You can also rotate his legs. Unlike previous Playmates giant-sized Kongs, this Giant Kong has knee movement, but there's no movement in his feet. Giant Kong can stand on his own. Kong doesn't really come with any accessories, which is a bummer. There's his legendary battle axe. Let the battle begin! Let them fight! Finish him! Fatality! But what about Shimo? Come on, Playmates, give us a giant Shimo figure. Pretty please. Let the battle begin! Fight! I just want to rip all these Godzilla Kong figures out of the box and see a giant monkey and lizard team up to drop-kick Scar King. Kong can't even stop this on his own. He won't be alone. Here's 6-inch Godzilla Evolved. Godzilla has evolved into an all-new form, now stronger, faster, and more powerful. Godzilla thunders into battle with a supercharged heat ray and city-destroying tail swipe. I'm still not sold on his design, but I didn't like Slim Mechagodzilla at first either. Let's attach his tail. Hey, is that Godzilla? Why is he pink? Did he eat too many pink flamingos? Meet Godzilla Rose, Barbenzilla, whatever his name. Our king is here. Looks like Godzilla's evolved. His head's bigger and he's got big magenta eyes. Take a look at his dorsal plates, which are now more translucent and magenta in color. The pink looks just as menacing as the blue. His head has sharper spikes that extend down his neck. Not really a fan of the transition between his head spikes and the clear plastic back spikes. With a different shade of red, his tail appears to be sloppily painted. His tail is now equipped with 6 sharp thagomizers, making tail swipes even more deadly. Looks like our boy's been hitting the gym too. His torso and thighs appear to be slimmer, frost-colored. His underbelly is much lighter. His arms have grown much longer and muscular, expanding his reach in combat. On the back of his forearm, he has an elbow spike, but it's a bummer it's not painted. With dragon-like proportions, he can finally run and keep up with Kong. Not only has his body evolved, Godzilla can shoot pink homing projectiles. Here's his new atomic breath accessory. Let the battle begin! Fight! Let's talk articulation. Godzilla Evolved has ever so slight neck articulation. His jaw opens and closes. His arms fully rotate, but they don't swivel outward. He has no elbow and wrist movement. His legs move backward and forward. His feet fully rotate. His tail is on a ball joint. His tail can fully rotate. The end of his tail doesn't move, but it's somewhat flexible. Meet Kong with Beast, bioenhanced anatomic seismic thunder glove. Armed with his ancestral axe and a prototype battle gauntlet that enhances his earth-shattering primal strength, Kong roars into battle, packing a meteor impact with every punch. Let's unleash him from the package. Big monkey. Man, Kong looks cooked as hell with a significantly improved sculpt. Crap, why does Kong have a wacky robot arm? Look, it's the Infinity Gauntlet. No, Infinity Konglet. Did Scar King smash his arm, or is it just an upgrade? Extending from his elbow down to his fingers, the Beast Glove resembles an exoskeleton. Looks like it's armored too, which means Kong can use it as a shield. You know it has some electrical properties too, but I hope we get that old school Thunder Fist punch. Check out that ferocious roar! Kong looks pissed. With an open mouth sculpt, Kong now has a bigger beard, but it's missing the gray ends. And check out his thicker back fur that looks like a cape draped over his shoulders. Kong's gone all superhero on us. And who left those vicious scratches across his chest? He also comes with this biomimic heave, a new hollow earth aerial vehicle. Let's talk articulation. Kong's head swivels left and right. His arms move backward and forward and swivel outward. He has elbow movement and elbow rotation. His left wrist fully rotates, but it's a bit tight. But his right wrist doesn't move at all. Kong doesn't have any torso or waist movement, even though it looks like he may have waist movement. His legs move backward and forward. His legs also rotate. He has knee movement. His feet are fixed in place. What's that? That's not Kong. It's Orangutan. Here's 6-inch Scar King with Whip Slash. The evil Scar King rules over his fiery Hollow Earth kingdom, wielding a whip slash, and commands an unstoppable army to destroy Godzilla and Kong and conquer the world. If Kong's the god of Skull Island, then here's the devil. Big monkey, but bad. Let's take a look at this badass ape. Isn't he the perfect snuggle toy? Damn, he's ugly. Take a look at that evil scowl on his menacing face. He looks like an undead zombie, and he's balding too. He reminds me of Koba from the Planet of the Apes. Check out that red war paint on his face and arms. He's a Titan killer, isn't he? He won't stop until he adds the skulls of Kong and Godzilla to his trophy collection. While his eyes emit a blue glow in the film, they're just painted blue here. Forget the atomic breath, I can't wait to see him shoot atomic lasers out of his eyeballs. His body is covered with thick, reddish fur, digging his scrawny design with an orangutan-like physique with long arms and legs. Kong stands no chance against him. See the colossal whip coiled around him? That's his weapon, the whip slash. It pops off. Looks like he pulled out the spinal column of a dead titan with its mandible still attached. Brutal. Scar King can grab his whip slash only in his right hand. When it's not in use, he can wear it around his right shoulder. Let's talk articulation. Scar King swivels his head. He moves his arms with a ball joint. His arms swivel outward. He has an elbow joint. His elbows rotate, and his wrists rotate. His upper torso moves back and forth, and side to side, but it's a bit tight and noisy. He can also spin his torso all the way around. His legs move backward and forward and rotate. His knees bend, but his feet don't move. A completely new ice dragon-like titan creature, here's 6-inch Shimo with Frostbite Blast. A legendary ice titan with unstoppable world-ending powers, Shimo faces Godzilla and Kong with a devastating frostbite blast that can freeze opponents in battle. Baby, it's cold outside. Let's get this beast out of the package. Let's attach his tail. Big lizard, but cold. In Japanese, Shimo means frost. With a similar shape and an inverted color scheme to Godzilla, this enormous four-legged beast has white reptilian scales across its body. He's got two forward-facing blue eyes, indicating he's a predator. Shimo's head is adorned with crystals that form a crown on his head. He also has purple, translucent crystals that run along his back. Look at his lengthy tail. It's got 4 purple thagomizers on the end to unleash a devastating tail swipe. Shimo is huge. Just look at the size of his forelimbs. He's got some pretty big claws ready to rip out some flesh. Perhaps he gets around on 4 legs, but can stand on 2 legs. Shimo has ice-based powers. The Frostbite Blast accessory can be attached to his mouth and used during intense battles. He's fully articulated and posable. He has neck articulation that allows his head to fully rotate. His head can also pivot up and down. But sadly, his head doesn't pivot side to side. His mouth opens and closes. He could probably swallow an entire head or body part. All 4 of his legs move. His front legs pivot outward, but his hind legs don't. All 4 feet can fully rotate. He has tail articulation with a ball joint. His tail can also rotate. Here's Zuko with Titanous Doug. Let's get him unboxed. Don't let his size fool you. Zuko is a scrappy fighter with raw primal strength and a bad attitude who always has Kong's back. I'm glad we've got a combo pack with both Zuko and Titanous Doug. Is that a mini Kong? Baby monkey? In Japanese, Zuko means essential child. When we're first introduced to Zuko, his shadow looks a lot like Scar King. Approximately 3.6 inches tall, Zuko is a baby orangutan with brownish-orange fur. He's got 2 short legs and 2 long orangutan-like arms. I'm getting Planet of the Apes vibes. Isn't he so cute? I want to adopt him. His green eyes make him more believable. Zuko has a scar across his right eye. Did Scar King abuse him? Zuko comes with his signature boulder that he can hold in his hand. Calling it now, Zuko uses a rock to knock out the big bad Scar King. Zuko's head rotates a full 360 degrees. He doesn't really move his head up and down much, nor does he have much head pivot. His arms move backward and forward and swivel outward. He bends at the elbow and has elbow rotation. His wrists fully rotate. With a waist cut, he rotates a full 360 degrees at the waist. His legs move backward and forward and rotate. He bends at the knees. His feet fully rotate. Spanning about 4 3/4 inches tall, Doug's a lizard-like monster. I want to see Zuko ride him. I still can't believe his name is officially Titanous Doug, thanks to the internet. That's hilarious. He had a small cameo in Godzilla vs. Kong, and now he has his own toy. This grayish-black creature has rows of spikes and osteoderms covering its skin for protection. He has a short head, short legs, and a jaw full of sharp teeth. With green-colored eyes and a bony ridge above them, this creature reminds me of a crocodile. Let's talk articulation. With a neck cut, his head can rotate all the way around. Too bad his jaw doesn't actually move. All 4 legs fully rotate, but his feet don't rotate. His tail is on a ball joint. His tail fully rotates. With an almost blackish paint, here's Godzilla with Heat Ray. Let's get him unboxed. Harness the awesome power of Godzilla's thunderous roar and devastating tail swipe as the king of the monsters battles other titans to maintain his rule. Give me some chocolate. Built like a tank, this is the Godzilla we know and love. Let's attach his tail. Take a look at Godzilla's massive legs and T-Rex-like arms. I love a big-bottom Godzilla with a dad bod.